Behind the Scenes Podcast, Episode 2. We're here with Maggie Derthick. She represents Auxetic, Detroit. How you doing today, Maggie?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. The first question I wanted to get into was, what got you started into artist management and music in general?
Well, I suppose I was one of those girls in my bedroom from the time that I could remember, always wanting to have the radio on, dancing, sort of escaping, exploring feelings and whatnot, through music ever since I can remember. And I guess that's when it all started.
Okay.
So it organically evolved from there into what has now become, something that I can call a career.
Okay. So, being based in Detroit right now, what are some of the artists that you currently represent?
So right now I have two. It's great because Auxetic has sort of gone through a bit of a change.
Okay.
We kind of scaled back a lot to then reopen with a focus on I don't know really what to say. A lot of consulting and management, but in just a lot more than just electronic music now.
Okay.
So right now we have two great artists that are from Detroit. One, her name is Lindsay Gold, and she's like a sort of like a neo soul pop singer.
Okay.
And then I also have Andrea Super Dre Wallace, who's an amazing DJ and producer. So these are our two latest people that we're representing right now. And I'm just really enjoying the diversity of it.
Okay. You said Andrea Super Dre Wallace?
Yep.
That's what's up. I like that name, Super Dre. That just sounds really. I like that how that sounds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. And what genres are they dealing with currently? Like what's their style mainly?
So Super Dre is house and techno.
Okay.
And she's going to have two different records coming out this year, so that'll be great. We're sort of finalizing up, with the label. So once that's all signed, we can announce everything. But one's a great Detroit label, and the second one will be determined, after movement. So she's great. She's house and techno. And then, like I said, Lindsay is like a neo-soul songstress, very strong sort of pop voice to her.
Okay. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you have some new work. You have new works coming up. You have new projects coming out. What's your inspiration to keep the movement alive? I know the big festival, the movement's coming up right now. The big EDM festival. A lot of people don't even like to use that word EDM, but it's the techno. It's a big rave party. And what's your inspiration for continuing on your passion for music? You know what I mean?
Well, I was actually just finishing a meeting when we started this today,
Okay.
And with a lovely young lady that started working for me, and we were just sort of reflecting on what our next week and weekend is going to be like. And I said, I really love being on this side of things, making and creating the moments that people remember for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And I think that's my biggest driving force. Also the vehicle being the music.
Right.
The music definitely is always the driving force, but it's really great to get to not only the people that are attending, but the artists. That's the thing for me. It's that give and take from the artist and the crowd, and or even the adding in the promoter, the idea, the conception of an idea, the right artist, the right time, the right everything for that right moment.
Right.
That's what it is.
Okay. Well, I know in the past you've worked with, institutions like Girls Gone Vinyl. I was actually watching a YouTube the other day, and it had Jenny LaFemme on there, and I know she's affiliated with that Girls Gone Vinyl. So what was your role in that?
Well, I founded Girls Gone Vinyl.
Okay.
10 years ago.
Okay.
It was a very natural progression. I started Auxetic also 10 years ago.
Okay.
But when I started Auxetic, I did not know I was going to start Girls Gone Vinyl.
Right.
What happened was social media was becoming, very, very big 10 years ago, finally. Like, this was still MySpace. We're still liking, everyone could play their music players and all of that stuff.
Right,
and I
right.
was meeting all of these women from all over the world online that were very similar to me and had similar tastes in music, and were maybe like one of a few women that were doing what they were doing where they lived, right?
Okay.
So then with movement happening also every year here in Detroit, and it's such a homecoming and a mecca for electronic music, in America and certainly the world. That year I had all of these women that were like coming and they didn't know who or how to play or anyone to book them or anything, and it just was like a light bulb sort of. I said, okay, well maybe I should just have a party where like all these girls can get together and play.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's quite frankly how it started. And then some years later, we did the event every few years. I mean, every year at the festival for a few years. And then Jenny and I met. Her being from Detroit as well, we met, and she was like, "Why don't we make it into a film?" And that's when we decided to go and film and interview so many of these women. And it's a labor of love. We're doing it on a nothing budget, other than what we raised from Kickstarter to go film. And so it's finally getting very close to the end of the editing stage, and we hope to get it out this year, the documentary. So
I'm excited about it. You know what I mean? I just love the name Girls Gone Vinyl. I love that name. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And I know there's a lot of DJs that are a part of that as well. You know what I mean? It's not just like you and a few other people. It's a lot of people that are contributing to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's really cool because now we've taken it to, like last year and this year, the money that we raised from the events. There's a woman that owns an academy here in Detroit that's called the Music Industry Academy, and she's also a woman and she's also a DJ.
That's what's up.
It's paying for young women in the city to go to learn these skills, and they're adding a production side to it as well.
Okay.
So, and we'll always be looking into other organizations and other ways to send women into the music business,
Yeah.
So that's the other kind of cool side that it's taking now.
Round of applause for that one. That's what's up.
Thank you.
Okay. You also deal with the progressive underground. What exactly was that?
Okay, so Chris Campbell, although we're not currently, I'm not representing him anymore, but I have a great working relationship. The Progressive Underground is a show on WDET, which is our NPR station here in Detroit,
right.
101.9. And
Okay.
he's been doing this show, it's like a 3-hour show on Sunday nights. Actually, Movement, the guys from Paxahau and Movement are on it right now from 9 to 10, about to...
Yeah, I listen to that show. You know what I mean? I've listened to it many times. It's a great show.
So Chris and I met because Stacey Howard Hale had an interview with him, and I went with her because with Girls Gone Vinyl we worked with Stacey, and he and I just hit it off, and have an insane love for the music, and he also has a DJ Cambio that he his going out to like clubs and DJing, and it's sort of exploring growing that part of his persona. But the show, it's just really great with electronica, some progressive sounds that he plays. So that's my relationship with that.
Right. Yeah, shout out to WDET. That's our Wayne State, all of that.
Holding it down. It's a very
it's a legacy
job.
Yeah. Okay, my thing is right now you have something called the Whiskey Disco. I don't really know what that is. I'm kind of curious to know what is Whiskey Disco.
So the Whiskey Disco is a club, ultra lounge. It's this basement, this super awesome intimate basement that has like much history because it's in the same place that a very, very like known club used to be called Oslo. And then it was bought and reopened by these 4 guys, and they have continued in that spirit of keeping electronic music nights there. And it's just really awesome. You walk down this like stairway with subway tiles and like some like teak
Did you say subway tiles?
Open up into this like little cavernous basement that like amazing parties happening.
Okay, that's what's up. That's a cool name.
Yeah,
I'm not a big whiskey drinker. I love vodka, but when I seen whiskey disco, that just sounded like okay. I like that.
Yes. I'm from Kentucky, and I prefer vodka. Too, so
okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yo, not too long ago, I met one of the party reps, one of the event managers for like all the major whiskey companies, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we had a big, really long talk, and in transition. And that's funny that whiskey. That's just whiskey's really. More people are drinking whiskey now than back in the day. That's what I do know, because there's so many different ways to drink whiskey. You know what I mean? As opposed to back in the day.
Culture about it.
Yeah. The sours and the different ways to splash it and all that with like the Food Network and all that. Serious. You know what I mean? Serious.
Right. Absolutely.
Maggie, one other question would be, what's your favorite techno song? That's what I'm curious to know.
I haven't heard it yet.
Of all time, favorite techno song?
I haven't heard it yet.
You haven't heard it yet? Wow.
I'm constantly there's no favorite to me.
Yeah.
Because also that's the art of it, and the amazing part of it is when it's played, when it's made first of all by the producer, then when he puts it either in his live show or she puts it in their live show, or somebody's spinning it. There's so many different ways that you can take that song and make it something else, but itself, right? So there's always an amazing new song, or an amazing new sound, or an amazing way to hear songs played together, the same songs, because a different person is putting them together with different effects and at different times and in different environments.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about that versus, a song by song. And I mean, I'm very much a rock and roll and a pop girl as well, but there's just so many journeys you can go on with this music,
Right. Well, you've been in like Forbes magazine, projects you've been a part of, Billboard magazine, Huffington Post. I see. What do you think was your biggest accomplishment that kind of made you realize this was the business you're going to stick to?
Okay. I don't know, but I can tell you something that sort of makes me, that little many things like this happen that keep spurring me on. So just at my 10-year anniversary party of Auxetic, which is also there's a party series that I've been doing for 10 years called Sunday Beats.
Okay.
Which has been a Sunday series. I had Rebecca Goldberg play that party, and no way in the world I could have known that she was gonna feel herself shine for the first time ever, and really step into herself as an artist and as a DJ that night.
Yeah.
And I got to see it happen, and I got to provide a platform for. I'm like crying right now. I'm not even kidding. I got to provide a platform for it. And I remember she played like a fashion event that I had 4 or 5 years ago. That's when I first met her, and she was just starting to play records. And, I just kept giving opportunities to her and encouraging her. And she's actually playing Movement this year on Sunday, at 2 p.m. on the Detroit stage. But I watched her step into herself, and I watched a whole lot of people see that happen, and it was just such a magical moment. So those kinds of experiences,
right.
I think the work itself is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I love being a DJ. I love doing music. There's some things I don't like about the business, and there's some things I love about the business, but it doesn't stop me. The negatives never stop me from being a happy-go-lucky person and constantly wanting to, help people and things like that. So I look at you like a person that is that catalyst for people to get their shine on, at the same time learn some of the business aspects of it so that they can have a balance. You know what I mean? Because most people are imbalanced with the music. They either stay in the studio too long, or they're running the streets promoting too much and the music doesn't sound that good. So what's your how do you balance that with the artists that you deal with?
Well, I mean, they have to be their own best friends.
Yeah.
It's like a challenge, right? To see how much better or different ways that you can look at things and maximize everyone's benefit from it. You know, and so then great new ideas or collaborations or types of events sort of come out of just starting to look at things from every different way that you can possibly, and how to make the experience for everyone involved the best. So whether that's the person that has to, work the door, or that has to play the party, or that is the bartender, or the venue owner, or, if you consider everyone, then you'll start to see where things are lacking, and you can then address those things.
Okay.
And I think that's answering the question.
Okay, and for the listeners out there, can you explain Auxetic Detroit for us? Just to like finalize the interview and just like break it down how you do things, and much respect to you. But just break down what Auxetic Detroit means.
Okay, so I'll start with the definition of Auxetic first of all, and how I came to that name, and it sort of will tie it all together. So Auxetic is a material that when you stretch it, it grows stronger, not weaker.
Right.
It's like an inverse relationship, and so I think that's how I view everything in life. When you stretch it and you grow it, then it's going to be stronger, and that's how I approach everything. And it's even something that's happening in real time with the company itself right now.
Right.
It's stretching and growing into different places that I could have never imagined. So I can't wait to see what the next year has to come in store for it. But I mean, basically, we just want to help you, help a person as an artist, or like our clients, like Whiskey Disco, that we do, booking and consulting for.
Right.
Stretch and grow.
Stretch and grow. That's how it is, baby. Yeah. We stretching and growing this year. So have fun at Movement Detroit. I know that's a big deal. I think my boy DJ Steve Robb might be doing some stuff that weekend as well. So shout out to you and all your peoples, all the DJs up there. You know how I get down. You are, just one love. So Maggie, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day and having this interview. I really do.
I really appreciate it. You made me think about some things again in a different way, and I had a very lovely conversation, so thank you.
Have a good one.
All right.